Okay, so in this section, we're going to go through and show you how to fire up a virtual machine that'll be responsible for running server 2008 R2. Now, you're going to see a lot of similarities during the installation process, especially across Windows platforms. The configuration of them, though, does take a little bit of time to get used to, but let's go ahead and jump back into our Hyper-V server. So here you can see we've got the Server 2012 box up and running. That's cool. We're going to go through and fire up a new one. We're going to select a new virtual machine. Here comes our 4-hour wizard again. I'm going to hit next. I'm going to type in here EH-server 2008 R2. It says, where do you want to store this machine? Again, we're going to change it to our location where we have our CEH project folder. And I have a subdirectory here called VMs. There's the Server 2012 box. We're going to put it inside of this folder. And it should make a subfolder for me that represents that server. We'll hit next. I'm going to go ahead and take the default here, Gen 1, and we can go through and put in as much memory as you want to utilize. But again, these machines are just used for testing. Technically, Microsoft says that their server will run on 512K of memory. Wow, that was a mistake, wasn't it? 512 meg. It was Bill Gates who said we didn't need more than 512K, or actually it was 640K. Anyway, yeah, you can run a server on 512 megs of memory, but it's not a pretty picture. It can be done, but you're not going to be happy. So for this particular environment, I'm just going to fire this up with 2 gigs of memory. Now, obviously, again, in a production environment, you wouldn't have something that low typically. I'm going to hit next, asking me which network I want to hook into. We'll go into the hacking network, hit next, and it says, what's the name of this hard drive that represents this machine? Well, it gave it the name of the computer that I'm firing up. It also says that it'll create a subdirectory for me named after that computer with a subdirectory of virtual hard disk, and that's where it'll place it. The default of 127 gigs. Again, just remember that this is saying that the virtual machine itself will see that it has 127 gigs, but the file will only take up as much hard drive space as there's actually information inside the virtual machine. So it's kind of interesting. You can actually, we call this thin provisioning, and you could actually end up over allocating by accident, meaning that, you know, I go through here and put in here that's equal to 64 terabytes. But if I only got 3 gigs available on my hard drive, the physical drive runs out of space, but the virtual machine thinks it still has a ton left over. But I'm just going to go ahead and take the defaults here because we're not going to even get close to the 127 gigs, but I really don't care because, again, it's dynamically expanding. I'm going to hit next. And I'm going to install this from a CD. Well, I should say an ISO, emulate a CD. We're going to mount an ISO as a CD or DVD drive. I'm going to go ahead and hit Browse. And we're going to find our Server 2008 trial ISO. And I'm going to hit Next. I get my summary screen, and then I'm going to hit Finished. So you can see I've got the machine now. Let's go ahead and fire this bad boy up. We'll connect up to it first. And then we'll go ahead under Actions and select to start it. After the hamsters have ran around the wheel for a second, we then get the option of selecting our language and time, currency, and keyboard. I'm going to just hit Next. It says, do you want to install now? Yes, we'd like to install. And I apologize if this is kind of small. I have a hard time blowing this one up because of the fact that we have not loaded up any device drivers or video drivers. I'm then going to select which operating system I'd like to install, and I'm going to use a standard edition full install. Don't select the core. If you select a core, you're going to get an operating system installed, but it's going to be all ran from DOS, and that's not what this class is about. And you don't need to be using Enterprise or Data Center or the Web Server Edition just because of what we're trying to accomplish in this lab. I'll hit Next. I'm going to accept the EULA. I'm going to hit Next again. I'm going to make sure that I hit, again, a custom install. Again, you can do a upgrade. If you do an upgrade, it just tells you that there's nothing there, so you can't do anything there. So we're going to hit closed. We do an install again. Again, we'll hit the full edition, accept the EULA. And I don't know why they have this as a default, but just get in the habit of hitting custom. It picks up the hard drive. Look, see, it's